How's it going, guys? Got a Vermin League match for you. Kaiju will be playing Slaanesh up against Butcherbird on Tzeentch. For Slaanesh, we do have good old Zazel, this ugly man with Pavane, Demon Blade, and Temptator, of course. That's pretty much what you're always going to see on him. He's just a really cheap Pavane caster with that discouraged effect on his item. Chaos Furies, 4 of them, going to be the Air Force for the Slaanesh side. We do have 2 Marauder Horsemen for the Skirmishing and a front line of Devoted Marauders, the Sword variant and Spear variant. We do have 2 Hellstriders on both flanks, the Spear variants, as they can help try to deal with Senegors, which might be brought into the matchup, typically to counter any Chaos Knights of Slaanesh, if they're brought. And the Hellstriders paired up with the Fiends could do pretty good work. For the Tzeentch side, we do have Karos Fate Weaver with Oracle, Gaze of Fate, Scroll of Destiny, Blue Fire, Bruno's Timework, and Harmonic Convergence. A whole lot of spells, plus Life Leeching and Great Arcane Conduit. Blue Horrors for the front line, mostly. We're going to have 2 Chaos Warriors with Halberds, and for the mobility, we're going to have 2 Senegors on both flanks. For the Air Force, we do have just 2 Screamers, one being the ROR Shrieking Sky Rays, but they're both great here, and they can help deal with any cav from the Slaanesh side. So let's speed things up a little bit. We're already going to get a nice Blue Fire hitting those Fiends. They do some decent work there, about a little less than a quarter of their HP, but also Scroll of Destiny popped as well for those power reserves. Infantry is going to start engaging. We do have the blue horror shooting in. Then of course getting a nice charge in on the spearmen and then back away. Nicely played by Butcherbird. We're going to have a Pavane hitting those Senegors, forcing that fight with Slaanesh, getting those Hellstriders to charge in with the Senegors. Though the Senegors still get their charge bonus off hitting those Hellstriders, so they're going to do some pretty good work. But this means that the Slaanesh side can dictate the fight and force the Senegors to engage when they wouldn't have had to normally. These Senegors join in on the fight as well. Hellstriders get a charge here on the Blue Horse, but in theory they should be definitely going around instead to completely surround and encase the Senegors, because they're just going to get tied up by the Blue Horrors and Halberds instead. But Kaiju is pulling them back, so he could still do that completely. We do have the Air Force engaging as well, the Shrinking Sky Rays and the other Screamers. Actually, are the other Screamers here? Yes, they are, or are they on their way? Yeah, they're on their way. These guys are engaged, and with the 4 Chaos Furies of the Slaaneshian side, along with the Zazel, Bruno's Time Warp is popped as well. Going to be hitting, is it just Karos? Yeah, just Karos and maybe the Shrinking Sky Rays? Yes. So right now, they're up to 62 melee attack, the Shrinking Sky Rays, and Karos is actually up to a decent fighter, and now it's 63 melee attack as well, though he only has 20 melee defense. That makes him a lot better. Marauder Horseman also engaged in combat for some reason. I'm not sure why, if it was an accident on my Kaiju, but this is not great. He could be throwing his javelins into, say, the Chaos Warriors, or skirmishing with the Senegors, or even just throwing their shots into Karos himself. Yeah, I think they could be throwing their shots, and instead of being engaged in combat. They are kind of just wasted. Gaze of Fate going to be locking down those Hellstriders, giving the Chaos Warriors time to catch up to them. You have the Chaos Furies engaged with the Senegors. Senegors are going to need some help, either from the Marauder Horsemen or something else, because those Chaos Furies, though they could do good damage into the Senegors, they will obviously eventually lose that, and you want to catch out those Senegors. We do have a Pavane casted, catching out those Senegors, and Azazel's going to come in here. 1 second. Alright, back at it. I had something to do. Anyways, Senegors do get routed off. Horsemen are through. Might want to send those Horsemen over to continue chasing after those Senegors, but we do have these guys coming back, and they get a charge in on those Horsemen, though they are relatively low. Azazel's going to come over there and possibly finish them off, and that gives the Senegors time to come back and enjoy the fight. The Blue Horror, the infantry looks like it's going better for the Tzeentchian side, as Blue Horrors are slowly winning out on the Devoted Marauder fights, especially with the help of the Chaos Warriors. Though only on this side, 3 of these guys, these 3 engagements are going better. Over here, these Chaos Warriors are surrounded and are being beat down by the Devoted Marauders, both of them. Kairos is fighting amongst Hellstriders, Fiends, and Blue Horse. Fiends are relatively hurt, relatively low on HP. These Fiends only have 7 models left and only 2200 HP, while these guys only have 12 models left with about half HP. So they gotta watch out. Marauder Horsemen throwing their javelins in, but Kairos is going to dodge a lot of those, honestly. And even then, if he doesn't, you're going to miss a lot of their shots, as he's just hard to hit when he's flying. Tentagor's running away. We still have 1 active that has come back and hasn't been brought back into the field yet. Those can be chased off with Chaos Furies or Hellstriders if need be, and they should. But Butcherbird is going to pull those around and keep them away. I don't know why I keep calling them Hellstriders, but the Horsemen are going to continue after them and try to finish them off. Infantry is starting to regroup for the Tzeentchian side, and Kairos is trying to finish off these old Marauders, and he does. So now the infantry is starting to collect around each other and start supporting each other in the upcoming engagements. The Slaanesh side no longer really has any infantry. These Devoted Marauders are running away. These as well. Those got shattered off completely. We do have 2 coming back, and these 2 might be able to come back as well. But aside from those guys, we do have 1 left here. So the Slaanesh side is going to have to deal with a lot of the infantry left for the Tzeentchian side. It's going to be tough when your Fiends are so beaten up and you only have Marauder Horsemen who do have some ammunition left, but now are getting gazed at faded and are going to have a tough time escaping this engagement. Though Kairos does run away, and the Chaos of Fate does run out, so the Marauder Horsemen are possibly able to be pulled back. But the issue is, again, is that they have ammunition left. They have 4 volleys. But it's not going to really be enough to have to deal with all this infantry. Though these halberds are slowly being pulled down. They get hit by Parner's Time Warp, bringing them to 59 melee attack. Going to be whittling down these Fiends and Azazel. But they actually do get terror routed. Nice. Balance of power is looking relatively even. It might put it in the favor of Slaanesh's side. These Chaos Warriors are relatively healthy. And though they are going to get a rear charge here from the Fiends here. See how that does. See, although they turn around and get their attacks off as they get into those Fiends, which is pretty nice. So with those Fiends actually might end up going to crumbling status. We'll see. They start disintegrating. Yeah, and there they go. Oh, though they're back into stabilization. They have 12 HP and they're gone completely. That's pretty nice that they came back at that last moment, even if they died eventually anyways. Fiends have 6 models, though they are close to going into being disabled as well. Though they have 3, as they only have 3 leadership, down to -5. And will they stay there? Oh, no, they're rebounding back and forth. We'll see. Kairos is getting in a fight here, rear charging Azazel. Azazel's trying to slowly whittle down those halberds. No infantry left, really, for the Tzeentchian side, aside from these halberds. Actually, we do have some coming back with 29 models. That's pretty good. And we do have some Slaanesh coming back as well, though they are wavering. And they might just end up routing as soon as they even get to combat. Kairos, Butcherbird sending Kairos over to terror route them, possibly. And they do end up routing. And now all that's left, unfortunately, for the Slaanesh side is Azazel. You have some units coming back, but again, as soon as they get into combat, they're going to end up routing. Oracle is popped, giving them that 40% ward save. And I do think it's most likely going to be going to the Tzeentchian side, as all the supporting units left for Slaanesh are gone, and Azazel is going to have to try to slowly grind out these forces. He takes another, what is that called? I forgot, the army ability from Tzeentch, doing some pretty good damage into him. And Kairos is just going to be able to dictate the fights with Azazel, constantly charging into him. Pavane hitting those Chaos Warriors, going to be doing some damage to them. Gaze of Fate, going to be holding Azazel in place, netting him down and reducing his melee attack to 30, which means that he's not able to dodge a lot of these attacks there from the animations. Well, actually, I don't think the Gaze of Fate affects the animations. It just means that the player can't move the unit. But yeah, nonetheless, it is going to be going to the Tzeentch side, I believe. As Azazel, yep, he's starting to slowly waver. And yeah, he's disintegrating and banishing. Very close fight, however, as these halberds had routed and these guys are relatively low. But the fact was that Kairos was constantly able to cycle charge with that AP weapon strength of Kairos, being able to dictate fights as Slaanesh did early on, and slowly grinding down Azazel. Azazel, 2200 value. He did relatively well. The infantry not so great. Maybe the whip variants would have done better here than the spears or the regular devoted marauders. I'm not sure. 96 value on these Hellstriders. They didn't really do a whole lot, unfortunately. I think having to deal with that many Centaurs. I think maybe these guys got tied down by halberds. I'm not sure. Or it was the Screamers. I'm not sure. It was definitely too many Centaurs for them, so it makes sense that one of them took the dump. That's for sure. Took the dump. What kind of saying was that? 878 on the other one, 182, 976. Hellstriders were kind of fumbled a bit. This guy got sent to combat, I believe, and definitely shouldn't have been. They should have been up and firing the entire game, as a lot of their shots could have been sent into, say, the Centaurs, Screamers, or even the Chaos Warriors, as they have obviously no shields to mitigate those javelins. But yeah, this one still got good value, 976. Chaos Furies didn't do that. You know, they did fine, actually. They were there, the Chaos Furies, they were there to tie up units, get rid of those Screamers, help out with the Centaurs engagements. Fiends did fine as well, though they aren't exactly anti-large at all, so and they do rely on that physical resistance. Centaurs do have magical attacks, so they kind of just like cut through the Fiends with relative ease, though Fiends still packing some pretty good weapon strength and do some solid damage back. It's just, I think the Centaurs will win that, even with the help of the Hellstriders. 1,000 value here on Kairos. He didn't do that great, but he was, I mean, at least in most of the game, but he was the reason why Azazel lost there. And he was able, with Gaze of Fate, considering Gaze of Fate is not going to really show up in gold value, considering that it doesn't really do damage, it was able to hold down like several Hellstriders to do as Kaiju was doing with Pavane, dictate those fights, and specifically hold down units for other units to catch up. Like with the Hellstriders earlier, they were Gaze of Fated, which gave the halberds time to get on top of them and start pulling them down with their halberds. Plus, of course, a lot of their support spells like Harmonic Convergence, Perona's Time Warp, that again is not going to show up in value. Halberds did great here. They were really the anchor there for Tzeentch's side to win that fight, to win this match. 1380 on one of these guys. Kaiju did great here with his use of Pavanes, but there was just quite a few of them, and not a lot to stop them. But good match. Catch you guys next time with another one. Bye bye.